You guys want to write when we're speaking, or check what you've already got written? You guys ready?
Yep.
And go ahead and unmute Morgan, Tara F, Shayla, Jayla, Christine. Unmute unless you have noise in the background. Go ahead and unmute so you can just speak and say, will you say that again or whatever. I don't want you to have a delay and have to touch something to tell me to say that again. Okay, here we go. I'm getting ready to say it. I think I'll start with insulin. And the question starts with, those of you who got the insulin question, I say you've just had a good meal, or you've just had a meal that obviously contains carbohydrates. Your blood glucose has elevated. What is the homeostatic mechanism that will reduce the negative feedback homeostatic mechanism that will reduce blood glucose levels back to normal? And then you say, here's what you need to tell me, okay? I start the question with that. You say the elevated blood glucose, now you can say it in your own words, but the increase in blood glucose, here's Rhonda. Please tell me, oh, here we go. She says, please tell me what area you're lecturing on, and I will program sampling homework. Oh, okay. She's just wanting me to give you an idea. Can I say, how about no sapling homework before the test? Will that be okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'll just say, great, Rhonda. Great, Rhonda. May we please have no sapling homework until after our exam on Monday? May we please have no sapling homework until after their exam on Monday? That would, so may we please have no sapling homework until after their exam on Monday. So when do you want your first sapling homework?
Tuesday.
Huh?
Tuesday's fine.
Tuesday?
Yep.
All right, Tuesday, and then it would be due whenever. So, okay. Does she usually give them on Tuesday?
I don't know.
She normally gives them on like Saturdays.
She gives them on like Saturday? So how about we say the following Friday?
Yeah, that's fine.
So no sapling homework issued until next Friday?
All right.
Not tomorrow, but next Friday. Okay. Okay. May we please have sapling homework? Here we go. I got that. A sapling homework starting next Friday. May we please have sapling homework a sapling homework starting next Friday. I'll put a smiley face, because she's a great colleague, but she's also the coordinator of AMP. I used to be, but then I have to show respect to her coordination. We want it to be consistent. So she's my outranking member here, at least in this course. But I control the grade in the course. So we're equal. We're partners. Okay, may we please have a sapling homework starting next Friday? How about that? Yeah? Yep. Smiley face on your behalf. Students send kisses. Should I say that? No, that's not right. Students send kisses. I want to do that, but I won't. Okay, there it is. May we please have sapling homework starting next Friday? Smiley face. There it is. Great. Okay. I don't ever do that. I don't ever do that kind of thing. Get student feedback like we just did in the normal semester. It's like, I'm getting you guys to vote on things. This is so democratic. It's very good. You get to vote. You get to say how you want it. All right. So she'll send something back. Hopefully she'll be in agreement with that. And then when she sends something back, then I'll let her know where we are and what to start with. That'll be really good. Okay, so Tara, we just, for you and for everybody, we just mentioned we had a good meal. We had a blood glucose elevation. Obviously, this is question 1. It has to do with insulin. So, elevated blood glucose, this is where you guys are. Elevated blood glucose stimulates beta cells of the islets of Langerhans to release the hormone insulin. I'll say this twice in case you don't get it, and maybe a third if you want it. Insulin travels through the blood to, throughout the body. Insulin travels through the blood, throughout the body, and stimulates all cells with the exception of brain, spinal cord, and active skeletal muscle. Now, I know that brain is not a cell. You could say nervous tissue if you wanted. She says, okay, no problem, I'll take care of it. There it is. Okay, I'm going to say, great, students send their love and kisses. What should I say? All right, here we go, wait. Okay, and she has a smiley face with a wink or something. Okay. Great, exclamation point, smiley face kisses. I had to take that out. Okay, great, exclamation point. All right, here it is. Smiley face kisses now. Students send kisses. I'll just hit smiley face. There it is. There it is. There it is. Great smiley face, exclamation point, smiley face. Thank you, ladies. That just squared that away. And you got to determine when you wanted your homework. Okay. So insulin traveled throughout the blood and stimulates all cells of the body, with the exception of nervous tissue, but we've been saying brain and spinal cord and active skeletal muscle, to take up glucose. Obviously, that all by itself lowers blood glucose, but let me continue. Insulin also stimulates the liver to synthesize glycogen. So it's already stimulated the liver to take up glucose, along with all of the other cells of the body. But now it stimulates the liver to take up glycogen, thereby reducing blood glucose. I'll say it again, and this time this is exactly what you need to say for full credit, and I won't give any kind of extra stuff. Elevated insulin, elevated blood glucose stimulates beta cells of the islets of Langerhans to release the hormone insulin. It travels throughout the body and stimulates all cells, with the exception of brain, spinal cord, and active skeletal muscle, to take up glucose. And at that point, you could say, thereby lowering blood glucose. Insulin also stimulates the liver to synthesize glycogen. Period. That's 10 points, 10 out of 10. All right, are you guys with me on that?
Yep.
That's 10 out of 10. You give me some accurate variation of that, and you'll get your 10 points. Now let's go to this glucagon one. What happens, here's my question, what happens if you've been fasting? What happens if you've been fasting, or you just woke up, you were sleeping, and your blood, anything that has caused a reduction in blood glucose? Then this is where you start. You say a reduction in blood glucose stimulates alpha cells of the islets of Langerhans of the pancreas to release the hormone glucagon. Glucagon travels throughout the body, in the blood, travels into the, glucagon released into the blood. Glucagon travels throughout the body and specifically targets the liver. And it stimulates the liver to break down stored glycogen and release glucose into the blood, thereby elevating blood glucose. When the liver runs out of glycogen, it will convert amino acids to glucose and release that glucose. That is called, the conversion of amino acids to glucose is called gluconeogenesis. And it's from I already said from amino acids. Let me boil it down to a more discrete, exact answer. So, reduced blood glucose stimulates beta cells of the islets of Langerhans to release the hormone glucagon. Glucagon travels in the blood throughout the body, specifically targeting the liver. It stimulates the liver to break down stored glycogen and release glucose into the blood. When the liver runs out of glycogen, glucagon stimulates the liver to convert amino acids into glucose. This is known as gluconeogenesis. Done. It's done. A variation of that will be 10 points. An accurate variation of that will be 10 points. Now, how about if you get the cervix question? This is where I say, okay, use the cervix diameter in childbirth as an example of positive feedback, of a positive feedback mechanism. This is where you start. You say the baby's head puts pressure on the cervix, causing it to stretch. Stretch of the cervix is detected by stretch receptors in the cervix that send their signal to the spinal cord, up the spinal cord to the brain, specifically to the hypothalamus, and then down to the posterior pituitary, where the hormone oxytocin is released into the blood. Oxytocin travels throughout the body and specifically targets smooth muscle in the body of the uterus, stimulating that smooth muscle to contract, put pressure on the baby, and thereby causing the baby's head to stretch the cervix even more. You see that? I'm going to say that again. The baby's head causes the cervix to stretch. This is detected by stretch receptors in the cervix that send their signals to the spinal cord, up the spinal cord to the brain, specifically in parentheses you could say, or specifically the hypothalamus, from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary, causing the release of oxytocin in the blood. Oxytocin travels throughout the body, but specifically targets, because it's in the blood, but specifically targets smooth muscle in the body of the uterus, causing that to contract, the smooth muscle to contract, putting more pressure on the baby, causing the baby's head to stretch, causing the baby's head to put more pressure on the cervix and causing more stretch. Some variation of that, 10 points. I need everything. Okay? I need all of that. So what if, and I'm not going to do this, I mean, you guys have your answers. You have your 3 answers. And you're going to get two of those. You're going to get 2 of those on the exam. Cassie, practice writing ahead of time.
Okay.
Okay? You know what most people do? Most people, before they take this as a written test, they've already written it out a few times. So they can just knock it out like that. You'll be okay. You've already encountered this last Monday. You were most of the way ready for it then. Nobody missed that question entirely. Nobody did. So every one of you have already studied this. Every one of you has already studied this. Okay, now let's go to any questions? Any questions?
Nope.
No? Okay. Excuse me. Now let's go to playing some glycolic.